This you knows. I be first tracker, and time's past count I done the tell. But it weren't me that tumbled Walker. It was Savannah. So it only right that she take the tell.
This ain't one body's story. It's the story of us all. We got it mouth to mouth, so you gotta listen it and remember. 'Cause what you hears today, you gotta tell the birthed tomorrow. I'm looking behind us now, across the count of time, down the long hall, into history back. I sees the end, what with the start. It's poxiclips full of pain. And out of it were birthed crackling dust and fearsome time. It were full-on winter, and Mr. Dead chasing 'em all, but one he couldn't catch. That were Captain Walker. He gathers up a gang, takes to the air, and flies the sky. So they left their homes, said bye-bye to the high scrapers, and what were left of the knowing, they left behind. Some say the wind just stoppered. Others reckon it were a gang called Turbulence. And after the wreck, some had been jumped by Mr. Dead, but some had got the luck, and it leads 'em here. One look and they's got the hots for it. They word it Planet Earth, and they says, we don't need the knowing, we can live here.
Nintendo Dreamcast, episode 87. Are we 87 now? Did I get that right?
Yeah, yep, that's right.
87. Fuck yeah. I'm paying attention. Episode 87.
One week soon we'll say it with certainty. Other than that, we'll just keep...
Or as I like to call it, episode Fallout 4 plus 1. Because that's how good that game is, that all the relevant dates in my life from here on out will be... and how far away they are from the release of Fallout 4.
It is so good. I can't stop.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Like, I fucking hate you guys right now because I just want to be there at home right. Playing it.
He's sitting here, he's like, I might just get up and go home and play Fallout right now. I might just get up and go.
Yeah. I was thinking that we should just skip this one and play more Fallout 4 so we have more to talk about.
It wasn't even like out of frustration for how long you were taking. I was just like, I'm going to go home. I just want to play.
Yeah. It was real. I got to a point last night and it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I could totally keep going until like 7 or 8. Yeah. I was like, no, I gotta stop.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, Matt. Calm yourself.
I'm definitely like taking my time, but there's just so much to fucking do.
Yeah. There's a lot to do. And there's DLC coming.
We'll talk about it later on or in the podcast. Do we even have any news to talk about? Should we just go straight into Fallout?
No, there's no news to fucking talk about.
So, I mean, I really like...
Let's talk, before we start, let's set out some ground rules. So if you're listening to this and you're playing Fallout 4 and you don't want to be spoiled, as far as story-wise goes, we're going to talk about up into... We'll say the first like 2 hours of the game to where you find the Minutemen, like that first quest.
Okay.
Up to, if you've read anything online, you know that you get power armor very early in the game.
Yeah.
So as far as story discussion, we will not discuss anything past where you get power armor.
Even though I really want to.
Yeah. Because we can discuss a lot from the gameplay and everything. Story-wise, we might talk about things beyond that, but no story.
So actually the first thing I want to talk about is that I have been playing the Fallout series with the background of the game, totally different in my mind. I did not realize it was the year 2070 when the nuclear bombs hit.
Do you think it was 1950?
Yeah, I assumed that it was some alternate reality where, like, right after nuclear war, or right after World War II, there was a huge progress, like, just in like 10 years, they made all of that, like those robots and stuff like that, and then nuked the shit out of themselves in like 1955. Because I'm like, why would everyone be listening to fucking 50s music all the time unless that was like the last era of actual music, you know?
It's because the scientific advancement was greater than the cultural advancement.
Still, for them to be 100 years behind, and like even the televisions, like. No advancement in TVs whatsoever in 100 years.
I think they were also visited by aliens or something.
Well,
right?
No. We went to war with China and Japan
in Alaska.
Well, and then in mainland America.
Yeah.
And since we didn't have the reprieve after World War II that we did in this reality, where we started building up towards recreational electronics with computers and stuff. Every technological advancement immediately was directly into fighting another war. So, like, home electronics and home computers and stuff were pretty much stuck in the 50s, as everything we did was war related.
Yeah. See, that was a huge, like, because that the introductory movie at the very beginning was the first like laid out timeline I'd ever seen of Fallout events.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy shit!
There's a really
70.
Yeah, I don't know how much people like to read on the internet, but the Fallout Bible is online, and it's the original Black Isle, who's Obsidian now. They sit down and wrote a Bible before they did the first Fallout, and it has the timeline. You can go through and read all the stuff. It's really cool. The coolest thing about the Fallout Bible is they updated it right before they were going to make Fallout 3. Black Isle got closed down while they were in the process of making Fallout 3, the original Fallout 3. And so all the story documents for what they envisioned Fallout 3 would be is on the Fallout Bible. It's really cool. Their version of Fallout 3 was you were it involved around a faction of crazy people in the wasteland that had access to I guess they had built an orbital space station, America did, that was loaded with nuclear warheads. And this faction had found out how to reactivate the weapon and control it, so you were trying to stop them from raining a second nuclear apocalypse on the Earth, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. It'd be really fucked then, because everybody's out of the vaults.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
So that was the first mind-boggling thing for me. I actually didn't really know anything about Fallout 4 going into it. I knew that power armor, you get it really early because I was told it was easily spoiled, but I didn't play the demo or watch anyone play the demo or anything like that. So when you started out in 2070 and it's like peaceful and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm totally going to get cryogenically frozen, aren't I? So it was, I go into the vault and I'm like, oh, this is where I'm going to get cryogenically frozen?
And they're like, step into these decontamination chambers.
Oh, you mean these cryogenic freezing chambers? And I just grab it. I'm like, oh.
I didn't know anything either. I thought that I was going to play a descendant of that person. And so, like, you were making your character, but that's, like, your physical features.
Yeah.
They said that at E3, didn't they? Because Cordelia was watching me play, and she reminded me of that. She's like, aren't you supposed to be the baby?
Yeah.
I was like, why are you looking for the baby?
No, I guess I never got that information, but I'm like, there's no way I'd be designing a character unless I was going to be playing that character.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be cool. But it is a really cool idea, actually, to have like a pre-war person in like the Fallout. I wish they like went into that a little bit more with some of the dialogue. I mean, they edge it a little bit, but he's never like, none of his dialogue is ever like super edgy about.
I was half afraid that when you like wake up out of being cryogenically frozen, you start like finding people in the wasteland. They start talking about synths. Like I was half afraid. I'm like, am I a synth? And they like reprogrammed me, and the institute put me in the vault, and then I woke up. But I'm guessing that you can't be a synth because like stim packs and stuff. Like because if it turns out that you are a synth, then it would make no sense because you use a shit ton of drugs to heal you the entire game.
Well, they're just like us in every way.
Except they're not.
Except they're robots. They're not like, unless you're like the newest generation of synth where it's actually like a little baby fetus that's like
I don't know. I have not even gotten to that. I did not know those existed.
No, I'm saying unless you are one of those, it's impossible for you to be a synth because synths are still at their core robotic. They're not like they're more Terminator than like anything else. They're just
metal parts and gears.
They're just like metal frames with
stabbing a stim pack into you would do nothing.
Yeah.
They have human like organs and shit.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Do they?
If they do, I don't know about it.
I've shot up a bunch of them. They do not have any human organs, man.
You've been okay. You're right. Let's veer off of synths in the
Christ.
Institute. That's
I just said we weren't going to talk about anything past getting your power armor. Hal is telling me that they have human organs. Not a huge spoiler.
I don't know. I thought if you already knew about the synths, you knew that. Like,
No.
I've encountered a shit ton of synths, but I've blown them up and they are robots.
yeah, those are. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with those guys are.
Back on track. And I also, it's like you like see them like shoot your wife and take your baby, but then it like fades back to white, and I knew instantly what that meant. I won't say what it means because it's also a spoiler. But I was like, this is so obvious. I can't believe my in-game character can't figure this out for himself. But then you like wake up and you're fighting rad roaches, and I thought one thing I didn't like is I don't think you can actually see the perk tree before you make your final decision about what your stats are going to be.
Well, it's in the manual, a giant poster.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't look at that. I think it should be something in game, honestly. Like, what if I had bought the digital version?
Yeah, I bought the digital version.
Yeah. So it's like you as you're exiting the vault, it's like gives you one more chance. It goes like, do you want to change any of your stats or change your appearance? And you say yes or no, and then you do it, and then you get out of the vault, and then you level up, and they're like, now you can see what the actual perks are going to be.
Well, the cool thing about Bethesda games is since Oblivion and Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Skyrim, the game always auto saves a separate file at that moment. So if you ever go back and you want to play the game again, it's the very first auto save, and you can load it up and start a new character without having to play like the introduction. Yeah. So it starts you right where it's like, do you want to change your stats? What's your name? Do you want to change your appearance?
So what did you guys all do for your like beginning character stats?
Oh, allow me first. Like I told you guys, I went with the Gaius Baltar. It's my classic Fallout playthrough. High charisma, science, and perception for energy weapons. So I try to almost exclusively use energy weapons because I'm a science guy. I do find that the stats tree in this one definitely it's really hard to be focused and specialized because of the perks. You can't go, like there's moments when you're just out of perks in your tree until you level up later, so you have to go and put them into something else. The only thing that I didn't like with my build is that since I'm a science guy and I'm focusing on like building up energy weapons and power armor, is that I had to put another point into strength to get the armor perk so I could fuck around with my power armor, which kind of sucked because almost all the power armor upgrades need science, except for the first level of power upgrades. Those need the armor perk. So I was like, God damn it.
What about you, Matt? What was your starting build?
I went with dumb, unlikable brute. So I had a lot of strength because I like to carry everything, like pick up everything that I find.
Yeah, that's. I had a friend that did the same thing. He put in strength, and then his first perk was like heavy back or whatever, or the thing that gives you 50 more pounds of carrying load.
Yeah, and I also I go high on luck.
Yeah,
not too high, but like
I have a 2 in luck.
I think I put like a 4 in luck.
So I've never really liked luck in other games, so I didn't either. Well, I kind of did something similar to James. I kind of like evened out a lot of my stats. Like I had 3 strength, 2 endurance. And then I like put a lot into charisma from what I was reading in it. I felt like it was going to be the one that opened up like dialogue options or gave perks that gave you extra dialogue options, and that's what I like. And I knew like I was going to not want intelligence because I was going to want to hack and pick locks. I forget, what is the pick lock perception?
Yep.
So I those are like the 3 stats I chose too, just out of reading what they do. But I kind of like kept them all at like 5 or 6, and then evened out my other stats.
I went initially, so 8 intelligence, 6 charisma, 5 perception, and then like 1s and 2s everything else.
I had a 2 in luck as well. And then when I got in and like saw what the perks were, I instantly realized I probably wanted to do like more in charisma and more in luck, because luck has all the really awesome perks associated with it, in my opinion.
The only thing I got out of the charisma tree is the Lone Wanderer perk, which I find hilarious because it's in the charisma tree, but it's the one if you have no followers.
No follower.
And I keep bumping that one up because for me, like, Fallout is about like me surviving in the way. So the dog stays at home, the robot butler stays at home, the other companions I've found, I send them to a settlement, put them out to pasture. Like, there's nothing more that I hate when I'm like, in this like raider base and I'm like, trying to survive and sneak around. I'm like, all right, like, I need to get like a crit with my sniper rifle here before the others jump me, and I like zoom in, hold my breath, and you see your companion run past you in the scope. It's like, Leroy Jenkins! It's like, God damn it,
that
dog
doesn't
meat.
really happen that much
Jesus
in this game.
Christ.
Yeah, usually if you bend down, they won't run in. But if you're like walking, they'll just like bam, beeline past you, shoot everything.
There's this one part where I was going through this military base, and I had one of the companions, which I won't name. And we were like sneaking, and like I'm going through, and like I turn around, I'm like, where the fuck is he? And I just hear, and it's like the little thing comes up like, your companion is in trouble. Your companion, like,
I also find them kind of worthless. They just die.
And what I don't like when they go in and like shoot everything up and like combat gets all crazy is I'm very meticulous about like going through each room and like picking up all the like scrap and stuff I need. But when everything's like blown to fuck and I have to run like through 4 rooms at full speed to find and rescue my companion, I feel like I missed shit. So I just enjoy the game, like just rolling deep.
I didn't think about that. When I first saw Lone Wanderer, I'm like, oh, it's a stupid perk. You can't have companions.
It's really good.
But now I think about it, I don't really enjoy having companions.
I love it.
I took the Lone Wanderer perk and I took the Rifleman perk, and I have an Institute rifle that since I have like science level 3 now, and I just found like a bunch of like nuclear materials, like all the high tech shit. And like I do 1 million damage with that Institute rifle.
That's one thing I haven't got into yet, is that I've never really liked crafting in any game, so I've barely done any crafting yet.
It's kind of necessary.
If you don't want a gun that sucks. Yeah, because like my Institute rifle it has like 280 range, and it does 60-some damage, and it holds like 50 rounds. It's just
I've been getting away with pretty sucky equipment for a while.
There's also some really cool scopes you can build.
I actually hate, like, one of the things I do not like about the game is the armor.
I love how power armor's done this time.
Not the power armor when you're not using power armor.
The different pieces. I like that a lot because you can like customize, and each one has like different perks and shit.
I just
it gives
think
you.
they look ugly as shit.
Oh yeah, but it's a wasteland game.
But I mean, every other Fallout game had perfectly awesome looking armor that I could wear.
If you find road leathers, and you know that you have an undersuit, right?
Yeah.
If you find like road leathers and military fatigues as your undersuit, it makes any armor you wear look badass.
Yeah.
It makes you look like Mad Max if you wear road leathers.
Right now I have like a heavy chest piece, and I look like one of those damn metal like a heavy metal chest piece.
You look like garbage in the beginning of the game, but that's just the way it is.
I found in Diamond City off of like one of the vendors, he had the Wanderer's chest piece, which was only 200 caps, and it's a better chess piece than anything I found, and I'm like level 16 now.
Yeah, that's another thing I rarely do in these type of games, actually look at the vendors' stuff and buy from them.
Well, I always since like in the other Fallouts, you had to repair your weapons when they broke, so I kept like a surplus of weapons, and I keep picking up like 50 of the same weapons, but now I just go sell them.
That's what I did the same thing. I found myself in the habit of like, I got an Institute pistol, I need to get like 8 more of these, and I kept thinking to myself like, why did I feel like I need more than one of every gun.
Well, let me tell you
remember why.
Something that I discovered last night when I was leveled up and I'm waiting for the next level in science is the scrapper perk. I don't know if you've taken that.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, like I used to like have to look around for like coppers and screws, but if you take the scrapper perk, when you disassemble weapons, you get screws and shit out of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing with most of my perks is just putting them into stats, because I don't actually like a whole lot of the perks. Like all the perks that I've seen so far or just like
well, you're not doing crafting,
Yeah.
so you. I wish I had more perks.
Yeah, I wish I had more perks too, but at the same time, like as soon as I realized how awesome luck and charisma were, I boosted both of those up. Like so I have like 5 luck now and 9 charisma. And I'd actually now, like looking back, I didn't really need to boost my charisma up because it seems like the like dialogue options you get from charisma, they just get easier as you get more charisma. And if I really wanted to, I could just like saved a game before a dialogue option, just kept reloading it because it seems like it just like flips a coin. And you just have
I think it might flip that coin before you choose, though. Like right when you get to that dialogue option screen.
It does. Actually, all the random generators load up when you enter an area. So, like, loot that's going to drop, dialogue option, like your percentage to get it and stuff.
All right.
And it's also, it is a percentage. And in the previous Fallout games, they would put the percentage on the screen, but they didn't this time because they didn't want people to feel like, like, damn, I'm like 1% off of.
All right. Well, that makes me feel better. So I have 9 charisma, and so I feel like I'll get most of the dialogue options.
I have 8 charisma, and I still keep fucking like. There's some things like I'm like, God damn it, really?
I'm wearing.
I have the fucking pompadour wig that gives you. So anytime I enter a town, I take all my equipment off, and I have a tuxedo that gives you +1 charisma, and a pompadour wig, and some sunglasses. So I look like fucking like in a James Dean in a tuxedo with sunglasses. And like it's like 10+ charisma. I'm like, what's up?
Yeah, I still have like a Minuteman outfit. It gives +1. And that's what I'm using as my under.
What's really hilarious is I found like you get to a point where there's like a story mission to fight like a story bad guy. And like you have a dialogue sequence with him, and I knew like I would have a dialogue sequence with this person going in. So like I'm like in my armor and stuff, and like outside the room, so like take all my armor off and like bust in the like pompadour wig and tuxedo. I'm like, what's up? Like his like army standing there, and he's like, why are you dressed like that? Like it was hilarious because the dialogue he actually was like, you look ridiculous.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, you don't look like a soldier or whatever at all. And I'm like. Then it's funny because immediately after like the dialogue it goes into combat. I'm like, wait, pause, put my armor back on.
Yeah, so far I think I don't like this level up system as much as I like the old level up system.
Really, I'm super into it.
Yeah, I also the other reason I don't like it is because since they changed the level up system, they had to change what all of the bobbleheads and magazines do, and I don't like what all the bobbleheads and magazines do now either.
There seems like there's a lot more magazines and options, and
yeah, I like them quite a bit. I like the one thing that I don't like about the new level up system is I think it's easier to become a master of everything than it was in the older one.
Yeah, definitely.
But like there's things that I'm doing, like I'm not putting stuff into strength. Strength 3 is the highest I'm going to go. I'm not putting anything into luck or anything into agility. And like the next character I play through, I'm going to go 10. Also 10 luck, agility, and like minimal intelligence and charisma.
Yeah, from what I've heard, there's no level cap, so you could just get everything eventually.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, so it feels like super chill to me. I'm like, fine, I'm just going to get all my stat points right now then, because stat points just seem to be what helped me most at the very beginning.
Again, if you were crafting, like I would at the beginning of the game, I'm like, God damn it, I really want to put this on my power armor, but I need science 3, which I can't get. That kind of stuff, So Matt, what are your impressions, man? What are you liking?
I think the first-person shooting is way smoother.
Yeah,
cooler.
I still spend 99% of all my combats in VATS, but
I've actually purposely been resisting using VATS as much as possible. It's actually harder in this game too. It feels like I don't have.
It doesn't stop time in this one.
Yeah, time moves slowly,
and then I feel like. I have less action points, but they might recharge a little quicker than they did in old games. So I can only ever get like 1 or 2 hits off, or like two shots off in VATS.
I think it depends on what gun you're using as well.
Miss.
Like if you have a quicker like firing gun, you get more shots. So it depends on
automatic. You get a whole spray.
Like an automatic pistol or something though. You'll get like way more.
Yeah, it's really hard playing not in without VATS. The only reason I'm not resisting is because in my run of New Vegas, I just took all VATS perks. I got like Action Boy and Mysterious Stranger and Death March, and those are all still in this game. So I could have done that again, but I'm like, it would just be me playing the same ridiculous strategy I did in the last one. Because the VAT strategy, it has to be like superior to just about anything else. Mysterious Stranger, I would just VATS, take one shot. And then then they would miss, and I would VATS again, take one shot. VATS again, take one shot. And then, like, the third time I did it, like, Mysterious Stranger would come up and just put 8 bullets into the fucking thing and just murder it.
Yeah. That's determined by luck, isn't it?
Yes.
So
it is a luck perk in this game as well, too.
Nice.
I have a 2 in luck. My guy's not a lucky man.
Yeah.
He's a man of science. He doesn't believe in luck.
There's a lot
superstitions.
I've read a little bit about it, and a lot of people say that like the best build is the charisma luck build. And in I don't know if anybody watched the Clueless Gamer with Conan O'Brien, but I actually was like, there's one window where he's like looking at his special, and it's just his stats. And of course, Conan doesn't really play the game. Like his little like butt buddy like sets everything up for him, and he just has a couple of clips where he's like, yeah, shooting things. So, but even like Conan's little butt buddy, I always forget his name. Like the stats he had were like 119, 1191 or something ridiculous like that. He had like 9 or 10 in both charisma and luck. I'm like, damn it! Even he knew that luck and charisma was the best strategy.
Well, I imagine Conan was probably making characters like luck and charisma.
I mean, I think they like built his character for him. Because they're like, we built this character to look just like you. And they show in the game, and he's like, oh man, he's got my hair and everything. And he's like, he's even got my amazingly athletically sculpted ass.
So Matt, going on, what do you think about it?
I'm really, really enjoying it. I haven't been sleeping at all. Like I got like 3 hours of sleep on Friday.
When I'm here at the store, I'm just like looking at videos on YouTube of Fallout. Just like, oh, play Fallout.
Yeah, I like how junk is so much more useful now.
Yeah. That was really interesting,
especially if you're into like building up your bases and shit. Like
the old.
I'm not even into the base building, but I'm very into like the upgrading weapons and armor. So like everything, I'm like, oh shit, is that an aluminum can? I will go murder 50 fucking like irradiated ghouls to get some aluminum cans.
Or that's fucking adhesive. That's like super rare.
Yeah, that's what I thought was amazing is that they always had like a Proxy Cleaner and Wonder Glue as items you could pick up in the game, but there's always like shit you accidentally picked up and you're like, damn, why am I so heavy? And then you like look like, why do I have like 18 fucking Wonder Glues? God fucking damn it. You like just dump them all.
Yeah.
Well, in the science, like if you're upgrading energy weapons, like the going materials are even like 10 times more rare. Like having to find fiber optics and nuclear materials and stuff. I'm like, yeah. But what I like is that it actually, like, you feel like you're, like, in the apocalyptic wasteland because you have to make entire, like, I sat down the other day for an entire 4 hours and did nothing but, like, component runs. Like, all right, I'm going to go, there's, like, this factory over here. I bet I could get, like, copper and aluminum out of it, that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, shit, it's full of, like, ghouls. And I don't know, it's just really cool.
There is something I saw on like 9gag where someone posted a picture and it was a whole wall, like a whole display wall of desk fans that looked just like the desk fans.
I saw that.
And he was like, is it weird that my first impulse is to take all these home and break them down for screws?
I pick up every single desk fan I come across.
I know. That shit's heavy too. I wish you could break shit down like on site, but it'd kind of ruin it.
One thing that I didn't realize is when you break stuff down, if you break it down like at your workbench in your town, that it goes to the workbench inventory. Because I was like in Diamond City trying to craft. I'm like, no way, I should have like 50 screws. Like I just broke down all this shit. I'm like, oh, it's back at my town.
I think if you level up the local leader perk all the way
that's
in
what
the
we're gonna have.
charisma tree, it'll complete like a supply line between your shit.
Lady Killer and Lone Wonder. That's the only thing you get out of charisma.
Other thing that's just, but I got one in Lady Killer because I thought it would unlock new dialogue options for me. It just seems like it makes me better at the existing dialogue options. So, the new thing that bugs crap out of me is the raid system. Oh my god, is that freaking annoying?
What, when they
just that radiation lowers your maximum health.
Actually, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I know it's good. It makes much better than what like.
Yeah, it makes radiation dangerous.
In the only game, radiation was like, I have 400. It's not really doing anything until I have 500. It's like enough for me to want to just max out lead belly so that I never fucking have like I don't get radiation from eating
super
stuff.
annoying when you're fighting like in a radiated spot and you're like, holy shit, like I need Radaway right now.
I think lead belly now just makes you not take radiation from food.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I get most of my radiation from.
That's eating food. Oh,
Yeah.
I just cook shit all the time. If you cook shit, it's
still radiated.
No, it isn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, if you cook shit, it's the radiation goes away.
Well, I still eat stuff like sugar bombs and stuff too.
That's why you're so irradiated.
Yeah.
You're eating like a toddler. But yeah. I don't know. So we're talking about up to the first minimum
Well,
quest.
right now, I guess we're just. As the podcast, we won't talk about story too much past that. But
I mean, there's still a lot to talk about.
Yeah, whatever you like what's your likes.
So we shouldn't get into specifics about when you first get that armor.
I mean, you can talk about that first story.
That's first
I
mission.
mean, what did you guys think about that? Like,
Oh,
it
fucking awesome.
Kind of blows its wad. Like, it seemed like the game was blowing its wad. Like in the first 10 minutes, like you get power
but
armor,
I mean,
and you fight a fucking Deathclaw. But
eventually, you find out. Like, I thought it would. Like, we talked about this in the last episode. It's weird that they give you power armor right at the beginning, since it's such an amazing thing. And then I play the game and realize, oh, I need fucking nuclear cores to use them. So I'm not just gonna walk around in power armor all day long.
Yeah, not only do you have to get fusion cores, but when you do use them, you have to repair the armor and plates, which takes aluminum, which is very like scarce resource as well. Like I like it. Like my power armor, I feel like a superhero. Like,
you must have some crazy fucking armor if you're using aluminum and all of them.
Or steel. Sorry,
steel. Oh.
Yeah. But I think I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like 10 different types of power armor. So there's some other stuff.
I fucking broke like if you do more Minutemen missions, you unlock new, more craftable areas. Like you unlock the one of the things is the drive-in movie theater.
Skyview Drive-in. That's pretty early on too.
Yeah,
that place is a shithole.
But I mean, you can break down every fucking car in there.
Yeah, one of the things I figured out is you can break down the barrels in the middle of that pond, so it won't be irradiated anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what it? Oh man, I have to do that then.
Yeah, I broke those down, and then I put a water filtration system in there.
Do you have an industrial water filter already?
I do. That was the first thing I built, like in Sanctuary, because science.
Yeah, I guess I haven't gotten science.
And it lets you go in the water around it without
I
getting
was just
irradiated.
really pissed off that science, armor, and gut nut are all separate perks. I was like, ugh.
Makes sense, though.
Fucking damn it.
But the power armor for me is amazing because in the previous Fallouts you find it and you're just like, you have no reason to ever get out of it. So like sneaking around, like you're just always like in this giant power armor. But this game, it makes all the other armor actually useful, which has never been a thing in Fallout. Yeah. And like I said, I feel like a fucking like superhero. Like I find a place, like all right, it's time to go suit up. And like, I go to my like war chest at the Red Rocket and like go in. I'm like fucking Iron Man, getting my suit on. Like all right, I'm gonna take my best energy weapon, like get everything like kitted out. And
I had some mission where I had to clear out a big plant of raiders. And I didn't think it would be a big thing until I got in there, and there was like 20 fucking raiders in this building.
Oh god,
and it's like not like one in each room or anything. They all kind of butt rush you, and I got my ass kicked. And I'm like, it's armor time. Came in. I just used the Gatling gun they give you in the bidding, and I was like,
the best mod, like the jetpack mod. Oh my god,
do you have that already?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
feel
have that
like
yet.
fucking Iron Man. Like, all right, let me get my like. There was a shit ton of raiders in this town. I'm like, I kept getting my ass kicked. So I went back and got my power armor, loaded up with my jetpack, pulled out my Fat Man, and I just hovered in the middle of the town. It was like, boom, just like a giant nuclear cloud as I was like flying over them. And I descended into the middle of town. It's just bodies everywhere.
They were like, fuck.
I've only found one nuclear bomb so far.
I've got like
3,
6.
I think. Yeah.
I found like a military base, and since I have science, like my hacking is super high, so I was able to get into their armory.
Yeah, I found 2. I've been prioritizing lock picking and science. As soon as I can put a perk into them, I definitely do.
Yeah, I can't wait to hit. I think I'm almost to 18, but I need like the master lock.
Yeah, I'm not at all into crafting at all. And then I saw that to get all the craft options is like 3 or 4 different perks with like 3 levels. I was like, it felt like to me if the lock picking had been like picking lock picking doors, lock picking small containers, lock picking big containers. I'm like, ugh.
But back on the power armor, I found you can find like different paint schemes. So I found the hot rod paint scheme, which is pretty sweet. So in power armor, it looks like a 1950s hot rod with the flames and everything.
Oh, cool. Look kind of like a transformer, I bet, or something.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really want to find more fusion cores. I just got a super sledge that I really want to arm my dude with.
I think I found 2 so far.
Really?
They're pretty far into between.
They're expensive. They're like 500 caps when you come across them.
I think I've got like 17 or so, but I've found since I went farther in the Brotherhood of Steel, like when you get to their base, I just spent like an hour going through every container. I found quite a few.
Oh, okay.
Like hanging out in there.
Wow, that's weird. I only found like a couple in there, I think.
Not that base.
Real base.
The real base. Okay.
One thing you can do, which is hilarious, is you can pickpocket the fusion cores out of other people's power.
And it regenerates,
Well, I haven't found there's only one guy in the game that has like a regenerating one, which I don't want to do that. I don't do exploits, but it pops other people out of their power armor. So when you pull it out, they just immediately eject out of their power armor. Like, what the fuck?
It's a funny joke to play on people.
Well, when you'll get to a point where like raiders and stuff have some power armor access, and you can sneak up behind them, and you also shoot them, which detonates the fusion cores, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've done that before with a sniper rifle. It's really fun to get really far away with it. Like, if you have a really good scope, just like shoot at people, and they have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of the random missions. Do you guys? Well, I won't talk about it.
Yeah. No random missions, no side missions, but yeah. When you first get that minigun and power armor, and you're on top of the building, and I didn't know that jumping off didn't cause damage, so I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to snipe all these guys with the minigun?
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah, that's
holy
I
shit.
I think they point that out when you get the power armor. It reduces all jumping.
I couldn't hear anything over the sound of my throbbing boner.
I actually forgot about VATS at that point, so I blew all the ammo like right away.
Yeah.
So I had to run out there and just shoot them with like shitty guns for a while.
Deathclaw scared the shit out of me. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to kill this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I got tackled by him, and he's like on top of you, clawing you. I'm like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those auto kill sequences. Like
it is if you're not in the power armor.
Yeah.
I found that out last night. It rips your head off.
Oh, I actually was like walking down a road, and then like down the road, I saw that there was two Deathclaws fighting each other, and I'm like, maybe I'll come back this way some other time.
When I first did that mission, I was on top of the museum with the minigun, and I wasted all my ammo, and the Deathclaw was the only thing left. I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta go down there and kill it. So I went down there, and I have like the pistol or whatever, because it's like the first hour. Deathclaw still rips your head off if you're in power armor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It opens you up like a tin can.
Yeah.
So I had to reload, and then that's when I found out you could jump off the building. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go down there with a minigun and kill it. That was much better.
That's a good idea. Does it like jump up onto the top of the tower if you're still up there?
No,
okay.
I ran out of minigun armor, and it was running around, and I could I was shooting it with a pistol, and it was doing like 1 damage. I'm like, all right, well maybe if I go down there and like pump a bunch into it, it'll kill it. And I went down there, and it opened me up like a tin can.
Just let dog meat handle it. That's the word. I don't carry dog meat around with me or let him run with me. I hate the sound that he makes when he gets hit. I just feel horribly guilty.
Can you craft armor for him? I heard that you can make him like
I spoiled that for you last podcast. Yeah. You got mad.
I didn't know if you could actually do that or not. I watched Is it the Giddy Up Buttercup stuff?
No, I watched a video where the dude was fighting the raiders, and he got attacked by a dog in power armor, and he killed the dog, and he took the power armor. So I'm assuming he can put that on his dog.
I've seen dogs that have like bandanas.
And you can put bandanas and shit on them. Yeah, I think it's probably pretty rare. The dog power armor. It's the giant bomb. Quick look of it if you want to go check it out.
I haven't put any of my companions in power because I have like 4. I found power armor like in this field with a vertibird, and like it had a dead like skeleton in it. So, but it was still like the T-45 or whatever. So I've got 3 frames of power armor. So I know your companions can get in them, but I don't know if your companions if they use fusion cores or not.
I don't know. I don't know how to make my companions use shit. I just figured out like last night that they weren't using the crap I gave them.
When you trade with them, you trade and then you go into their inventory and you highlight the item and you hit Y to equip it.
Oh, okay.
So armor and weapons, you can
So it'd be
go
triangle in my case.
You go into their inventory and then click on what you want.
Yeah.
The downside to that is that with one companion I had, no matter what I would have him equip, he would go always pull out this random pistol and start using it, and the pistols weren't in his inventory, so I think he just had like preferred, because I gave him like a submachine gun. He would use it, and then when I would holster my weapon, he would holster his weapon, and then when we go back into combat, I turn around and he had like a 38 pipe pistol.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, and I'm opening his inventory, and then like another time he pulled out like a 10 millimeter auto pistol, like stuff that's not in his inventory. And I was like looking it up, and evidently your companions will loot corpses that you don't loot.
Yeah.
And so he was picking up pistols off of people, and I guess they have a preferred weapon type, and so anytime you holster your weapon and he pulls out a weapon, he defaults back to his preferred weapon type, which is a pistol.
I had a companion who just has like a pistol, but then I like turned around when we were fighting some guys, and he had like a heavy institute rifle, just blasting the shit out of people. I was like, oh, okay.
So what do you think of Fallout 4-ish?
You haven't played it, have you?
Sounds lovely. Have not played it yet. Still in the wrapper.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I told them I think I'm going to play Tomb Raider before I play Fallout anyway.
Are you freaking serious?
I picked it up same time, and I'm more.
Tomb Raider's supposed to be really good, but oh my god.
Ugh. Just go home.
Not a big
Leave.
Fallout guy. You might as well just say you're a fucking terrorist. Or
You make me want to vomit right now. Have you guys used the Pip-Boy app at all?
Yeah, I use it.
I actually have not used it at all.
I haven't used it either.
I wish I had a working tablet because it's kind of small. I have to
You don't
prop
have
it
a
up on
Pip. You know, if you have a Pip-Boy, it just
just sit on
right
your
there.
arm uncomfortably for the 12
No, it's
hours
actually
I
very
play in a row.
comfortable. The Pip-Boy, it has like a foam core insert that's formed, so it's very, very comfortable.
Your arm
You
just get all
you
sweaty.
put your phone in sideways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So your phone's like this?
You could be playing Hearthstone on your phone. Play Hearthstone on your Pip-Boy.
Yeah, I was going to bring
Nice.
it up today, but Danny reminded me, and I forgot it at home, but I'll bring it next time.
Nice.
But I haven't, I haven't used it at all because I'm a purist. I just like the game.
Yeah.
I use it more as a...
It drains the fuck out of my battery.
Does it pause the game when you go into the Pip-Boy?
No, it doesn't.
So
if you
I
can't
actually
really
use the Pip-Boy to save me from dying a lot.
Right. If you're in combat, you want to use the on screen Pip-Boy.
Okay.
But if you're just like looking around for like quests or like places to raid next, like you want to use your phone, it's a lot easier.
I have been reading the bunch of threads on Reddit where I guess like you can, as long as you have the Pip-Boy app and you're like within Wi-Fi range of anybody's like system, you can access their character. It's like,
Nice.
you know, he's like, yeah, my roommate keeps playing, and like I change his clothes like one item at a time, and he'll like be in the middle, and he's like, why am I? Or he's like, or I'll drop all his fusion cores while he's in like the
that's
power armor, like eject him from it, like it's all these things. He's like, he has not figured it out yet.
Probably thinks this game is super broken.
He's like he was like going through and like picking up all this stuff, and like turned around. There's just like a trail of stuff because like everything he picked up, like the guy would like immediately drop like breadcrumbs. It's like, man, that's actually hilarious.
That is pretty good.
He said his friend would fast travel and he would have the map ready, and as soon as he fast traveled, he'd hit another thing. So he's like, why am I double fast traveling every time I fast travel? So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Some sort of evil genius.
I wish I was in college. I had a roommate I could troll.
That's like you know how you can have AirPlay over your smartphone and your consoles and stuff. On my roommate will have his Xbox on sometimes, so if I'm like in the living room, I always turn on Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball on his Xbox. Like if he's watching YouTube, that's what I'm not going to do when he goes to the bathroom, and you'll just hear it blare from the other room because you can turn the volume up and everything.
I would move the fuck out.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah, the app is most useful. You just put it on local map and like put it down and kind of use it as a mini map. But
That makes sense.
yeah, like I said, my phone's too small for that to be that useful, and it drains the hell out of my battery, so I don't really use it anymore. But it's fun.
Yeah, so good. Did you hear that the terror attacks were performed through people that use the PlayStation format?
Yeah, I heard that liars were saying that.
I mean,
A bunch of X-bots made up that rumor.
I think my math proved it, so I don't think.
I just think that, I mean, PlayStation is the platform of terrorists.
Sure, I'll go with that. You mean freedom fighters?
Just like Toyota is the car model of
Matt is going to get
terrorists.
shot when he's here tonight.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that? Like the favored vehicle for ISIS is the Toyota. Like all their trucks and stuff are Toyota.
Well, it's just because I'm assuming that's what they get in the Middle East.
And then
Cars are not easy to ship.
apparently Toyota actually has a model called the Toyota ISIS.
Well, they know their market. That's,
Yeah.
We should not be joking about this.
No, but doesn't stop it from being funny.
yeah. It's just French people.
We're going to go to news or to the movie?
I know, we're going to talk about Fallout some more, man.
Yeah, we're just
They
getting
got-
started-ish.
Do you got anything else to say?
Sure, wishing
James,
you played
for the
it
time
now.
being?
Oh, hold on. Sorry. I need some candy. Yeah, I just think it's really good. I really, really, really enjoy it. I think it's a step in the right direction. So far, to me,
Yeah.
it's a near perfect Fallout experience. I am even more excited because I read that Bethesda is open to Obsidian doing another Fallout, like they did with New Vegas. I heard that they were kicking around the idea that Obsidian had wanted to do a Fallout that revisits the locations from Fallout and Fallout 2, so like Vault City.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I hope that happens.
There's in one of the informational screens, something I thought was funny was like the Institute is scientists that were supposed to have come from the Commonwealth Institute of Technology, CIT.
Yeah.
I like the things that got lost through time. Like this isn't a huge spoiler, but some guy really likes baseball, but he thinks the rules of baseball is that two men enter with baseball bats and just beat the shit out of each other,
Yeah,
and then only
I
one
met
person
him.
leaves. And then you can tell him what the real rules of baseball are, and he's like, I like my version better.
Well, I haven't found this, so don't answer it. But what I was excited about Fallout 4 is for the Commonwealth, because my favorite quest in Fallout 3 is the Replicated Man. And you find in Rivet City, there's a guy, his name's like Zimmer, and he shows up with like a android bodyguard, and they're from the Commonwealth, and they're chasing down this runaway synth. And they're like, you find these tapes all over the Capital Wasteland where it's like this synth is running away, and he gets like facial reconstruction surgery, and so you like hunt down the doctor and try to find who it is, and you have the guy from the Commonwealth is like, help me find him and deactivate him, or you find like this cell of people that are doing like an underground railroad to like get help synths escape the Commonwealth. So it was a really cool quest, and when I played Fallout 3, I'm like, man, I would really like to know more about that. And then they're like, this is what the new game is about. I'm like, holy shit,
There's
that's awesome.
there's a quest called, I haven't done it yet, but it's called Follow the Freedom Trail, and it's supposed to be how synths escape from the Institute,
Nice.
like an underwear, or like the Freedom Trail is the underground railroad of synths.
Well, I'm hoping you meet that Zimmer guy or whatever.
So in New Vegas, when you got transported to that scientific city where they like replaced your brain, spine, and some other organ with like cybernetic components, did you ever do that expansion?
No.
No, I don't think I did either.
What I thought that there was like another name for like what MIT became or something like that, like the think tank or something like that.
Might have been. It was on the West Coast. You might be going to like Berkeley or something.
What?
Didn't it all take place on the West Coast?
Yeah, but I
Vegas.
mean, I remember you talking about how MIT became some sort of scientific technology.
Yeah, it became the Commonwealth, the Institute.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was something else.
Yeah, in Boston. Yeah, no, MIT is the Institute.
Commonwealth Institute of Technology.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like things I'm excited for. I really have not encountered any super mutants yet, and I'm 20 hours in, so I'm excited about that. I'm guessing, like, I'm hoping that some Enclave action pops up. If you've hit any, I'm like not even looking at your faces. Don't spoil it. But I'm hoping there's some Enclave action at some point in the game. Like, I'm still excited. Like, I'm still discovering new stuff because I spent so much time just dicking around.
There's a lot of crazy shit out in the game.
They were the bad guys in Fallout 3, right? The Conclave.
Well, in Fallout 2, but yeah, Fallout 3 as well.
I thought they were also the people trying to seize the water purifier.
They were. I'm guessing Enclave armor is going to be in the game, I hope. We have much better looking power armor.
Yeah, when you said Covenant, that's what I was thinking of, is Enclave.
President John Henry Eden.
Not going to talk about Covenant. It's one of the best quests in the game. I don't want to spoil it.
Mm-hmm. I heard the Salem quest is really cool.
Yeah, I just saw that article on Kotaku.
I didn't read it because I didn't want to spoil it.
No, I didn't either.
Me either. I've had a couple things spoiled by article titles. Can't think of anything right now, but
Matt was telling me about a friend of his that was reading some article online. It was like, it started out with, God, I can't believe I'm going to forget his name right now. So it was like started out with like so and so tweeted that. I
was there. Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. So and so tweeted that Donald Trump said, or Donald Trump tweeted that, and it was like some long thing, and it's like, and that's the ending for Fallout 4.
fuck.
I would murder something. I was actually reading an article about Fallout 4. Like, it was one of those shit Kotaku articles where like Fallout 4 is going to be horrible because of glitches. Yeah. And I was reading the replies, and like the top reply was, "This is the ending of Fallout." I was like, really? But
did you read it?
I just read like a sentence of it, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? But I actually think that it was just a troll because I don't think it's the actual ending after like finding out some stuff.
I have something we can do. It's just like a last thought on Fallout 4. If you were just starting Fallout 4 right now, what do you think you could tell someone that would be really helpful for them going right into the game? Like anything at all? Something like they should do right at the beginning or as soon as possible or something like that.
To fucking mod their weapons as soon as possible. Weapons and armor.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say don't dog meat, get the Lone Wanderer tray, don't look back.
I would say, I mean, one of the cool things about the companions is if you like complete your relationship with them, like level it up all the way, you get extra perks from that. So.
I don't want to play Mass Effect. I want to play the game where I survive the fucking apocalypse. I ain't got food to feed everybody else.
Why can't you play both?
Oh.
So, this is like a really specific thing, but I actually read, after I finished doing like the beginning of Fallout, I just read a couple of articles titled like top 10 things you should do right away in Fallout, just to see what people said. And like a lot of them were just like, there's like a cabin right next to Sanctuary Hills where you can find like an okay gun. And I was like, I was actually really surprised because none of the articles actually specified the one thing I think everybody should do immediately after they get out of the vault is just go back into your fucking house and pick up that special book because it gives you a goddamn extra stat point.
I read an article that said that.
Okay. Did you guys all do that?
That was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
I went back to my home just because I wanted to see the difference.
Yeah. I'd be like, I saw that on my kid's bookshelf in like the past, and I tried to pick it up, and it wouldn't let me. And then I went back to see if it would let me pick it up now, and it's like, here, have a free stat point. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Because I
would say starting out that you should invest in the second level of lockpicking as early as possible because you can do like get to expert really easy in the beginning because I had to go back to a lot. I had to like make notes and I'm like, shit, all right, I gotta wait till I level up one more time.
Yeah.
Because you find a lot of like expert locks. Like, there's like one in the house right in Sanctuary under that desk. And then, because if you get on that guy's computer, he's like,
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, there's a drug dealer that I guess used to live there, and he talks about how like the whatever, and their names are written on the mailbox, has a safe under his desk. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go there, and like, oh, it's expert, so I have to come back. And and then like when you pass the Red Rocket going towards Concord, the first house on your left upstairs has a safe in it that's expert, but they're all filled with like a shit ton of bottle caps and ammunition. So.
Yeah, those were like the first 4 skill points I put in as soon as I possibly could were lockpicking and hacking.
Because lockpicking, you only have to have like 3 in. It's like perception, which you take anyway if you want to shoot anything in the game. So it's really easy skill dump. And you just find a lot of like, I hate finding things and not being able to open them up. I don't care if there's a turd in that safe. Like I want to open it up.
I have pretty decent perception, like 5 or 6, and I still have like shitty VAT ratings all the time.
You need to increase the accuracy on your guns, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And taking if you specialize, take one of the perks and specializing it ups your accuracy too. Like anytime I'm like using a pistol in VATS, I suck. But if I pull out a rifle, which includes an energy rifle or whatever rifle, it's like 95%.
Especially if it's scoped.
Yeah, I've killed a lot of enemies I don't feel like I should have been able to kill because they all had like those red skulls next to their names and stuff.
Yeah.
Just from using my bullshit first-person shooter skills.
I don't think red skulls are necessarily an indication of difficulty because I killed a legendary like mole rat that took like one shot to kill and he had a red skull by him.
It says one of the help tips says that like if there's a red skull next to their name, just run like hell because you're not ready to fight them.
Really?
Like
Maybe
I think it means
just
it's like a certain amount of levels above you.
Yeah, maybe just a high level mole rat is still a mole rat.
Yeah. One weird thing happened to me. I came across this like monkey like with the symbols that like crashes them together.
Yeah, I did too. That guy scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, because you think it's just a dead toy, and you go up to it, and it's like eyes like go all demon like, and it snaps the symbols together. And it was super dark out. So.
Can we talk about how ghouls are fucking terrifying in this game?
Wait. So I shot the monkey, and then since then, like I've been like stalked by legendary creatures. Like right after that, I got jumped by a legendary rad roach. I've come across.
You think that shooting the monkey?
I don't know. It's weird. It might be just a coincidence.
I think it is because I noticed at the higher level you get, the more legendary stuff you encounter.
Yeah. Have you ever had a legendary mutate on you guys yet?
Mutate? What do you mean?
It's fucking terrifying. It's like you do like half damage to your legendary, and it goes like the legendary monster is mutating, and he's like starts glowing orange and does like twice as much damage.
Mine doesn't say that. It just I didn't know what was happening at first because he got all his health back, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's like it says like at the top of the screen like it mutated or something like that.
Have you guys been to the location that is the comic book shop?
Yes.
No.
Oh my god. It's full of like ghouls and it's like 4 stories tall and like it's a lot of like sneaking around. It's just like really horrifying.
Where
it's
is
like
it?
a zombie.
Is it in Concord?
It's in Lexington.
Somewhere.
It's like near Diamond City.
I like passed by and it said you had discovered Hubris Comics. I'm like, I am fucking going in there because there is at least one comic book in there.
Totally
Getting to the top 4 is totally worth it because of the did you get the Spectre outfit and the Spectre?
Yeah.
And
So
the
I tried
Grognak, the barbarian costume.
I tried to put it in my inventory, and apparently it's a quest item. It says, like, you cannot put this in your inventory. You cannot put quest items into a box. So I have to carry it around everywhere I go.
Yeah, I just wear it everywhere I go. You look badass in it. You look like the Grey Ghost from the Batman animated series.
You can't wear any armor on top of it, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that when I enter a city, I change my clothes for role-playing reasons. But, yeah, that whole place is pretty awesome. You find a lot of cool comics and stuff in there. And the final, like, the boss at the top, it was like, I remember because he's, like, behind that curtain. So, like, I sneak up and I'm like, picking like ghouls off and I'm like, what is, oh my god, because it comes from, and he summons ghouls.
Yeah.
Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, so he was just like raising ghouls out of the ground. I'm like, holy shit.
That was one of the bosses I didn't feel like I should be able to beat, but I ran down to the level below, and there was like a whole bunch of holes in the floor. So I was just like, I mean, that's what I did. That's what I always do in first-person shooters. Like, I've had to fight a Yao Guai bear, and there was like a collapsed tree in the middle of this road. Just like circle around the tree, just shooting him, circling.
Yeah, that's why I like backtracked down the stairs, jumped through a hole in the floor, and then just unloaded with my best energy weapon till it was close. He killed me twice.
I don't think energy weapons are the best thing to use on ghouls. They're like strong against them.
Really? Yeah. Well, I
think shotguns work best.
Yeah, I had to reload.
Am I
times.
misremembering, or I mean, I feel like back in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, everything was just like feral ghoul, feral ghoul, feral ghoul, feral ghoul. But now they have like feral ghoul roamer and feral ghoul reaver.
Those are in 3 and 4. Okay. I'm pretty sure 3 in Vegas. I think they might have more varieties now, but they definitely.
I like that. Like they'll still crawl and stuff. And like I learned early. Maybe this is something I'll pass on to you. When you first encounter ghouls, they're gonna scare the shit out of you. They're super fast and they're gonna fuck you up. If you go into VATS and shoot their legs off, they are no longer fast and have to crawl at you at a very slow pace. So anytime I encounter ghouls, I'm like,
that's a good idea.
VATS, shoot their legs.
They come right off, apparently.
Yeah.
All the limbs do.
The legs.
Oh, it's arms too. I've smacked the shit out of them. I like my go-to weapon with ghouls is just melee because I just like, smack the crap
I have the combat shotgun. For close quarters usually.
Yeah. I mean, they run. I kind of like. I still don't have a whole lot of ammo. I had like 400 energy cells. I'm like, this will last me forever.
That's why. Didn't you say something where you haven't like bartered a lot? But everything that I barter for ammo. So every guy, I immediately go to their ammo screen and empty out as many shotgun shells and shit that
I
they
do
have.
not have an issue with ammo. Like everybody's saying that it's so much more scarce in this game. But
I don't have an issue. I just have to change my weapons up a whole lot. Like I'll have like 400 energy cells, and I'll just shoot all of those down.
I was about to say I was running out of ammo until I started running into a lot more institute enemies because they all drop energy. So I have like 600 fusion cells for my like.
nice.
That's the thing. I'd have like an institute raid, and then afterwards I come out with like 400 bullets, and I go into the wasteland and do other shit, and I'd waste all my energy bullets, and I'm like, oh, back to 9 millimeters. I have 609 millimeter bullets now. So I'd use all those up, but then I'd fight another
308 ammo is really scarce.
Yeah,
it's like a sniper rifle.
It's my favorite ammo, and like I can never find it.
I've not sniped anything yet.
I like that you can change the receivers out on some of the weapons and change out their ammo types. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's like one of the last things you can do. It takes a shitload of parts.
I guess I'll have to put those 12 points into crafting skills.
Because I don't know like if I should be playing like this, but like I said, I only reserve my power armor for like special occasions, and mostly like the energy weapons I save for. So like your run-of-the-mill raider, I use a combat rifle on, which is 45 caliber, but I saw that I could change it to 308 rounds, which I kind of want to do, but then I would probably be out of ammo pretty quickly.
Wow. I didn't know you could do that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, or do we even care? I feel like we've been going on for a while. We've been rambling for like an hour. Let's just talk about the news.
Final Fantasy VII's Cloud is coming to Super Smash Bros. This all just seems...
Yeah, it's just not
pointless.
Fallout. Yeah, we should just make a podcast about Fallout. We call it the Fallout Shelter.
Wow. Issue in.
I'm game.
He doesn't even like. He's gonna play Tomb Raider.
I'm excited about Tomb Raider 2. I wish it was on PS4.
We can talk about the fact that Battlefront comes out tonight.
Yeah,
midnight. Danny's going to go pick it up after this. I don't understand how you're not going to play Fallout all night. But
I don't understand it either. I'd much rather actually, but.
Yeah, when I heard that you guys were going to play, I'm like, all right, I'll go out and grab it and play with you guys. But I was like, you know what? I can just play Fallout.
Yeah, you're getting it in the mail tomorrow anyway. So.
I'm like, I'm just going to be, I can't even stay up that late tonight because I actually have to actually go to work tomorrow as opposed to just
get up and
work
go in
from home. Yeah.
The horrible life you live.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the first time. I had to go in today too, and it's basically the first time I've been to the office in 3 weeks.
I've had 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Were they like, "Hello, Danny, you still work here?" They're like, "Your performance review is there like a video game out?" Like,
yeah. Well, it's like I was late for a conference call the Tuesday that Fallout came out, and the first thing my manager asked me is like, "Were you playing Fallout 4?" I'm like, "No, I promise I wasn't playing Fallout 4. I haven't bought it yet."
You were playing Fallout 4,
no,
right?
I hadn't bought it.
No. Does your manager listen to this podcast?
No.
I was going to call out the day Fallout 4 came out, but my manager knows that I love Fallout.
I was going to shut down the store. I was like, I am my own boss now. Like, in the olden days, I'd have to like call into work, like, oh, I'm sick, or like, so I was like, no, I'm my own boss. I'm closing the store, and I'm like, that's a really irresponsible thing to do.
Yeah, my manager is like 1 year older than me, so it's not like having like a 55-year-old guy as a manager. Like, can I have Tuesday off? Oh yeah, sure. That seems really weird. If I said that, you'd be like, you're just gonna play Fallout all day, aren't you? It's like, yep.
Like, usually I come up on Wednesdays, but like, you guys will not see me on Wednesday for a couple weeks. That's Fallout Day.
Fallout Day.
So how will buying Fire Emblem Fates work, Danny?
It seems complicated.
I pre-ordered the $80 one.
There's like 3 different games, and what?
You want me to take this one?
Go ahead.
That's in deep. There's not 3 different games. There's 2 different games, and then a $20 add-on that is like a DLC.
That sounds like 3 games.
Nope. It's 2 games and a DLC. However, if you buy the special edition, you get both games and the DLC on one card, so you don't have to like have 3 cards. Or 2 cards and a DLC.
Is it like Pokemon plus DLC? Like you get different characters in each one, or is it like a different story?
Yeah, so basically they had enough to fill like 2 different stories, and then they have an Aftermath DLC, and it's been such a long time since we've had Fire Emblem. They're like, I like what they did. Instead of like putting out different products, they put it out at the same time.
So, what is this? Birthright and Conquest are the two games, and Revelation is the add-on.
Yeah, so if you play Birthright, you play as one of the kingdoms, like on their side. You play Conquest, you are the other kingdom. So you play the story from the perspective of the two factions that are warring against each other. And then Conquest is like post game. But like Dave said, you can pay $40 for one or $40 for the other, and then $20 for the add-on. And if you pay $20 for the add-on, it's actually DLC, so you can't have it a physical. Like, you can't buy that in the store.
Yeah.
But if you buy the collector's edition, you get it all on a single cart.
The other thing is, it says
in a slipcover.
Nintendo of America tweeted out that if you beat either Birthright or Conquest, you can then buy the other one at a reduced cost.
I'm curious. I'm curious what the reduced cost is going to be.
I'm curious about that. I'm also curious how you're going to do it. Does it give you a code at the end of the game that you?
I'm assuming that when you go into the eShop, maybe it'll detect your cart or whatever.
Maybe.
So I could just borrow like someone's cart that already beat it.
But that's. I mean, I guess that's assuming that. Yeah, I'd have to. If I bought a physical copy and wanted to do the reduced cost, I would have to go digital. I could not buy a physical copy of the other one.
I'm really excited. The game looks amazing. Does it not?
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm excited about it.
Are you guys going to get the collector's editions? Or are you guys
No.
That was the only thing. I mean, I might. It depends on those details.
When does it come out?
February
like
12th.
next year.
Yeah, it's like nowhere
3
near
months.
Christmas or my birthday. There's no way. How much was the collector's edition? Like $140?
No, it's 80.
80?
It's the cost. So basically, you get the 2 games, but you get the $20 DLC for free, and you get a slip cover for your 3DS. It's like a cloth cover that goes over it, and you get an art book. It's just a cool collector's item. They'll be sold out after the first week, like everything that's Fire Emblem.
I posted that story, and James posted his
5 minutes later. I was like, holy shit. And I was like, can I pre-order this? And I jumped on Amazon, and they still had them.
As a comment, he posted a copy of his receipt for pre-ordering.
It's like done.
5 minutes on.
They're like 4 or 5 video game franchises that I will actually, if they were like a physical being, I would put my penis into. And Fallout and Fire Emblem are 2 of those.
Yeah. For those who care, Star Fox Zero is coming out April 22nd on Wii U now. That's the new release date, April 22nd.
Unless they've significantly changed the gameplay of that game, I don't care.
Yeah.
Nintendo has also announced that the new Zelda is going to be on the Wii U.
Just like Twilight Princess was on the GameCube.
Not on NX. Like a lot of people speculate it's the attempt to head off rumors. That the
they didn't say that it wasn't going to be on NX. They just said that it will be on Wii U.
Yeah, but
I wish they
the suspicion was that it was going to be an NX game. So
I wish they just target the NX because it's going to come out on that anyway, and I'd rather just buy one system.
I'm not going to ever buy another Nintendo console after the Wii U. Are you serious? 3DS for life.
I will buy anything that has a Zelda on it.
Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow are coming to Wii U.
3DS, actually. I opened up the article.
Oh, and 3DS?
No, it's not coming to Wii U at all.
Wow.
Yeah, the Kotaku mistyped it's.
Oh, they
3DS.
Changed the header in the actual article, but the link I have still says Wii U.
Yeah.
So they're coming into 3DS.
Yeah, I've never played Red, Yellow, or Blue because I started playing when I was almost 30. So I'm considering doing it, but I feel like with my experience being like Soul Silver, Black and White, and like X and Y, that I will have a really bad time if I play Red and Blue.
Didn't you play like Ruby Red or anything like that?
But they're not like updating the graphic. Like it's still just a straight up port of the original Game Boy game.
I think it's going to be really hard to get into then. I think probably.
That's the new Xbox One calendar app.
Oh, I just posted that because I didn't even realize there was an Xbox One calendar app.
It's pretty cool.
It's like some guy wrote an article about how useful it is.
How's the new PlayStation terrorist app?
That's great. I'm connecting with all my Islamist brotherhoods.
Yeah.
I just posted this thing too. Stephen Colbert on his new show ran this funny clip where he was talking about how Blizzard Activision bought Candy Crush.
And Liam Neeson was.
Yeah, he's talking about how they bought Candy Crush, but he suspects the reason is there's also another news story where Blizzard Activision opened up a movie studio so they can make movies out of their games like Call of Duty. have like control over the property even in the movie business. So he thinks they're going to make a Candy Crush Saga movie, and he had like Liam Neeson come on and play like the main dude from Candy Crush.
They already kind of did. Did you ever see Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh yeah,
And most of it like takes place in pretty much Candy Crush land.
I'm gonna wreck it.
It's a great game, great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Receipt. Dragon Quest 3DS games are coming to America. Yay. It's 7 and 8.
I have never played any Dragon Quest game ever. I feel like I know that like 7 or 8 was pretty good because I see those characters pop up all over the place.
I've never played either of those. I played the first one and I played 9 and I enjoyed both of those.
And of course, Fallout is breaking all kinds of sales records in UK and America.
How many sales records did Tomb Raider break?
Did you guys see the Pornhub post about Fallout, about how Pornhub traffic was down
10%. So.
The day Fallout came out.
I was reading on the Destiny subreddit, and they're like, it's a ghost town. Like, with Fallout 4 and
Battlefront
coming out, like, I can just see, like, Destiny shrinking up and dying. I think that's maybe why they're like, all right, we're not going to put any new content until next year. Have a good one, guys. Microtransactions.
And finally, Earthbound is getting a sequel called Mother 3. But only in Japan.
Yep.
Coming to
Fuck
the Wii
you,
U,
America.
only in Japan.
You don't like our system, you don't get the good shit.
I bought it. I've got it under my bed in a cardboard box.
So should we go through Mad Max at all real quick?
Do we need to go through Mad Max? I mean, I feel like everybody's
rundown.
seen Mad Max, but...
Yeah, we watched Mad Max Thunderdome because I had already seen Road Warrior, but I'd never seen Thunderdome. So
Let's go through it. Let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right,
I like seeing you squirm as we eat into every minute that you possibly have to play Fallout tonight before work tomorrow. So let's do it.
it's not happening tonight anyway. That stopped being possible.
So
Right.
the first thing that happens in Mad Max is he's in a caravan. You see a guy in a caravan.
I saw a rig that could hold that tanker. Boom. Boom. Did you do it?
High five.
That's my favorite quote ever.
We know.
Yeah.
Even our listeners know.
Why do you think that I picked this movie? That's my bet.
This is the text Ish sent me earlier today, and I told you asked what we were laughing about, and I said it's foreshadowing for our podcast.
Oh man. Damn, Ish. That hurts.
So
It's a good thing.
It wasn't even me.
2 hours ago, Ish sent me a post or a text that said, "My dad pointed out that anytime something remotely related to Mad Max or Australia is mentioned, James will do his 'I know a rig that can haul that tanker' quote."
It's my favorite movie quote. No, I'm never quoting Mad Max ever again.
Oh, that's a great quote.
So that's like 85% of the reasons I want to talk about Mad Max is to get.
I've heard that's why you brought it up again.
Is to get James to say that quote. So we don't even need it really.
Nope. Now you motherfuckers are going to talk about the whole movie.
So the first thing you see is a guy, and he's in like a little caravan wagon getting dragged by some camels. And somehow, even though it's a clear blue sky and it's just like desert, as far as like no mountains or trees or anything that you can see, this fucking buzzing airplane is able to
It is a gyrocopter.
Fine, gyrocopter is able to sneak up on it, even though it's like buzzing, like and smack him off the top of his little caravan, and then they jump out of the airplane, steal his caravan, and drive off. I do not know how he didn't hear that thing coming from like 2 miles away.
He's deaf from the radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's the same pilot as Mad Max 2, right?
It's not the same actor.
different
It's the same
character, same
character, though,
actor.
right?
It's
Yeah,
the same. No, it's the same
That's
actor.
what I was about to say. It's like
Same actor, yeah, Bruce
Okay.
something or other. I know his
I was
name,
about to
It's
say,
the guy that plays the mouth of Sauron in Lord of the
he's
Rings.
like,
and the
motherfucker
dude-
always has trouble with freaking flying machines, just like swooping in and trying to steal his gas or knocking him out.
And
his
it's the
caravan.
dude that plays the guy in Revenge of the Sith.
Which guy?
You know when Obi-Wan Kenobi lands on Utopia or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And the guy comes out and he's like, everything's fine here. And then he's like, save us. The droids are here. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime
Vaguely.
there's like a tall, lanky dude, it's this guy.
Okay.
Pretty sure
So-
his name's Bruce, but I don't remember his last name.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Moving on, he's
Bruce
like
Boxleitner.
No,
he's following the tracks of his would-be caravan, and he gets to this place called Bartertown. And
If you name this episode, I saw a rig that can haul its tank. I'll murder you.
That's clearly got to be the episode title.
No.
What about in the description? Can I just put that?
he
in?
gets-
Murder you.
but he gets to he gets to Bartertown, and there's this guy still in water, but Mad Max has a little raid meter, and he sees it's irradiated, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man, just buy some water." He like goes in and he speaks to the head of Bartertown. Like, there's this guy. He's like, "What do you have to trade? What do you want?" And then Mad Max walks up. He's like, "I want my wagon back. I want some information about who stole my wagon." He's like, "If you don't got nothing to trade, then I'm not giving you nothing." And he's like, "I can trade my skills." And he's like, "Lots of people have skills. Get them out of here." And
Bruce
then, like,
Spence.
Then he, as they like coming up to like kick Mad Max out, he shotguns like right over some guy's head, and he pulls out another pistol and puts it up against the master, and he's like, maybe you do have some skills, come with me. And they go through Bartertown, and he has to deposit all of his weapons, and it's like the super cliche.
removing all the weapons.
Is this like the first movie that did it? Is this like what started the cliche
Of what?
of like remove all your weapons? I've got 40 weapons on my body.
No, I think that was like classic gag when they did it.
You always hear like the straps, like the velvet. Yep.
Zip.
Yep. Zip.
Yeah, he's like putting everything down.
Yeah.
He's got like 4 different pistols. He's even got like a little hand crossbow and like a machete.
And it's not like he's wearing a backpack or anything. It's
No,
like
it's like all like just coming out of the folds of his clothing and different, because he's got like a poncho sort of thing on. But then he sees his camels for sale, and he's like, "Those are my camels!" And they're like, "Come with us." But they take him up to see Auntie Tina Turner.
Yeah, Entity, is that her name?
It was Auntie something.
Auntie something, yeah.
Auntie
Antigone.
Antigone, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they bring him up there, and she's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. Have some fruit and some water." And he like leans down to pick up a piece of fruit, and he just like he like senses it, but he was like under attack basically. So he like picks up the thing and swings around and throws it at this guy who's like raising a sword about to hit him or something, and he like everyone in the room immediately attacks him. Like even the fat trader just swings a battle axe at him, and he finally, some guy gets a whip around his neck and he's choking him, and you think maybe this is it from Mad Max. But the only thing he took with him from the security checkpoint where he dropped off all his weapons was a fly swatter. And he's been holding it in his mouth and stuff. And so he like reaches up and he takes a fly swatter and he's like, shh, and it's like he's got a knife hidden in the handle of the fly swatter.
like a little shiv, yeah.
And he like cuts the whip off and then like grabs it and throws the guy out the window. And then Tina Turner has a little crossbow gun on him. And she's like, "Congratulations, you're the first person to pass the audition." And then they go into detail about how Bartertown works. There's like the top side of Bartertown. It's run by Auntie. And then there's the underworld of Bartertown, where they ferment pig shit to get methane gas to power all of Bartertown. And the underworld is controlled by Master Blaster, which is a midget in a backpack on the top of a big, strong guy. If you guys need a more contemporary analogy, just think of like Bran on top of Hodor.
Oh, okay.
Or Krang if you want to go less
Krang
contemporary.
from Ninja Turtles.
But he's like, they're like, well, really, like the little guy's named Master and the big guy's named Blaster. That's why they call him Master Blaster. And then Tina Turner goes into detail. She's like, he's an asshole, but he's the reason we're able to run Bartertown. He's the only one that knows how any of this shit works. The problem is Blaster. If he didn't have that muscle, he wouldn't be in charge anymore. So what we want you to do is kill Blaster and leave Master alive with us. And he's like, and I get like all my shit back. And they're like, yeah, you get all your shit back. He's like, all right, deal. So he's like, I need to go scope out my enemy. And then he's like, well, it's a factory. You can get a job there. And he's like, I don't know anything about methane. And she's like, you can shovel shit, right? So there he is in the underworld shoveling pig shit to make methane. And he sees Master Blaster, and they actually have his wagon. But typical of Mad Max, he's like rigged the hell out of it. He's got like 20 pounds of dynamite taped to the bottom of it set to go off if everyone fucking messes with it. So there's one guy like working on it. He's like, it's the wires are connected here, it goes to here, that goes to here, which is attached to the battery. So I'll detach the battery. And Mad Max is like, I wouldn't do that.
But is that a wagon? I thought it was his interceptor.
Whatever it was. It was what was,
Blast of the Interceptors.
It was whatever was being drawn by those fucking camels.
I think it was like a gutted car. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was the Interceptor.
Yeah. It's like a gutted car.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably his car from the first two movies that has since defunct.
Yeah, and now it has camels to drag it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's like a wagon.
All right.
But it is a car because he like gets into it. And it's obviously a car. But part of the disarming, like, he's like, that's my car. I wouldn't touch that if I were you. You won't be able to figure out how to stop the detonation. So Master is going like, disarm car. And he's like, no. And then Blaster like grabs him by the neck and he's like, disarm car. And he's like, do you know who runs Bartertown? And I think doesn't he say something like, I think, isn't it Auntie or something like that? And then he's like, come with me. And then like goes over to this little thing and he's like, Blaster, embargo. And he turns a little crank and like the lights start to dim and her fan stops spinning and Master goes like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then Auntie comes on the little microphone and she's like, damn it, Master, I told you no more embargoes. And then he's like, who runs Bartertown? And she's like, just give us back our power. And he's like, Blaster, embargo more. And he like finishes turning it and all the lights go off and shit. And he's like, who runs Bartertown? And she's like, you know who runs Bartertown. He's like, say it. And she's like, Master. And then like she realizes that her voice is getting transmitted all over like Bartertown. She like hesitates for a second and he goes like, say it. Master. Master what? Master runs Bartertown. No. So he's like, Blaster, end embargo. So it's just like, he's like just in this one scene, it's like very apparent he's like a gigantic douchebag to everyone else in Bartertown. So I think that's kind of what gets Max on board. And he's like, yeah, these guys are dicks. Yeah. He disarms the car for him, but part of the disarm process sets off like a really loud alarm and Blaster just freaks the fuck out. He's like covering his ears like, Rrr! And Max has like a little whistle, so he tries blowing in his whistle and it has the same effect. Like Blaster's like covering his ears and flailing around and he's like, all right, I got my battle strategy. Yeah. So he goes back up to Auntie and he's like, yeah, I can kill him. And they're like, all right. And then you just need to pick a fight. Like he's like, he's like, one of the conditions was it had to be a fair fight that he killed him in. He's like, what did you mean by that? And he's like, you have to fight him in the Thunderdome, and it's like a big metal spherical cage. And he's like, well, how do I do that? And he's like, easy, just pick a fight with him. So they're trying to sell his car now that it's been disarmed, and he runs up like, that's my car, give it back to me. And then they're about to. He's like, Blaster, break his neck. But then all the guards show up with guns, and they're like, you know the law. And he's like, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And so Blaster and Max are in the Thunderdome. And it's the way a Thunderdome works is they put you in these little elastic waistbands, basically, where you're like suspended from the ceiling by elastic. So you can do all kinds of like stretchy, jumpy moves. And they have weapons hanging from the top of the cage. So if you can do a little stretchy, jumpy move to jump up there and get a weapon, you can fight with it. So there's a whole battle scene that most of it is like really awkward because they look kind of like toddlers in these little jumpy spring things trying to grab into each other. And they get their weapons, and there's like a scene where Mad Max is like chasing, like where Blaster is chasing Mad Max around while he's like trying to get this chainsaw started, and then Mad Max chases him around once he's got the chainsaw running, and then it runs out of gas, and then Blaster goes back to chasing him.
He keeps dropping the whistle.
He keeps dropping the whistle. He never gets it off until the very end. But once he gets it off, Blaster's had this metal like mask on the entire time, and so he smacks the mask off. And he's about to go in for the death blow when he sees Blaster's face for the first time. And I think probably like me, he imagined Blaster as like this big tough guy sort of thing. And it's like very obvious that from his face that he's like mentally handicapped. He's not a big mean person. He's just like a big strong oaf basically. Like ooh. He's got like
He's Hodor.
Yeah, he's Hodor. He's like smiling up at like Master and at Mad Max, like with the guy from Goonies. What's his name?
Sloth.
Yeah, Sloth. He's like Sloth. That's it. That's what it is. Except like maybe like Sloth's like much more handsome older brother or something like that. So Max suddenly has a change of heart. He's like, oh, I thought I was killing an asshole, not a like mentally retarded childlike man.
Yeah.
So he lets slip that he had a deal with Auntie, and Master gets really mad. But apparently there's another rule in Bartertown that if you break a deal, you face the wheel. So he gets punished by spinning a like wheel of fortune sort of thing, and whatever it lands on is his punishment. And the punishment he gets is called like galop or something.
Gulag,
yeah.
Gulag, which means they put him ass backwards on a horse tied up and slap the horses behind into the desert.
And they put a comically oversized plastic head on him.
And he had some sort of bottle of water. And
it was tied to the back of the horse. Yeah. So like whenever he got where he was going, if he got free, he could get the water from the horse.
But the horse ends up dying and gets sucked into like quicksand, and Mad Max has to get away, and the water's all spilt, so he's got no water. Luckily, some dude in the underworld, for some reason, gives a monkey a bag of water and releases it into the desert, and the monkey runs straight to Max. I don't understand.
I didn't understand that either.
But the monkey was like in his caravan at the beginning, so was it like his monkey? Was it like Max's monkey?
But why did the guy give the monkey the water?
I'm not here to fill in plot points. I'm just asking a question.
I don't know. That part's never made much sense to me.
So he gets to live a little bit longer with the monkey's water, but he still ends up collapsing in the desert, half dead, when he's discovered by these little children. And
I love the way those kids talk.
I know. They have the...
Bitey bye.
And like, we must learn the doing in this. What is like there were teachings in the doings or something like that.
Yeah.
The knowing and the doings. He's like, we must know. Must remember. We must figure out the knowings and the doings. And by that they mean they must discover how to use old technology again.
Yeah,
but they.
It's like language developed by children.
Yeah,
kind of.
They're like they're in this like oasis in the desert, sort of. It's like a big crack in the ground, and in the ground there's like a kind of like jungle-ish area. And what happened was, it seems like a plane.
Yeah, I think
was
plane survivors.
Yeah, like they tell the story of their people, and it is so weird. Like with the way they
obviously been distorted by age.
The way they spoke the language, I didn't understand what was happening most of the time. But from what I could piece together, it seemed like there was a bunch of people on a plane, and then the nuclear war happened, and the nuclear explosions crashed the plane. And then those that were not grabbed by Mr. Dead and had the luck...
Jumped by Mr. Dead
and had the luck, survived the plane crash and started a settlement in this little oasis that they found nearby.
And they call it the Pox Clips.
I did not pick up on that. But so it seemed like maybe there was like a couple of adults at one point. But they went to
Captain
Walker and a couple of other people. But they went to try and find help or something and left all the children in this oasis. And then they just never came back. Right. But the children found Mad Max, and he's like a dead ringer for Captain Walker, apparently. At least according to the picture they drawn on the wall of how basically a white guy with black hair with a little bit of gray in it.
No, because they had the Viewmaster also, which had a picture of like a World War II pilot, and that's where they got the...
Yeah. So they thought he was Captain Walker, come back to help them lift the sky raft into the sky and fly away once again. And he's like, I'm not Captain Walker. But then the wind picks up, and they're like, the wind's here. We have to get to the sky raft. And then there's like, they all run out of the cliffs, and there's like a crashed plane outside. And they're all standing on top of the airplane, like, take us with you, Captain Walker. Fly us into the sky.
Do you know that kid was Heath Ledger?
What?
Do you realize that kid's Heath Ledger?
No, I didn't realize that.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
But like, I love it because like Max is just sitting here, like, what the actual fuck is like
guys are
going
idiots.
on here?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god, because they're like standing on like the back wings of the plane, like, let us fly now, Captain Walker. And he just like walks back, and then the kids are like distraught because now everything they know has been destroyed. Like, there is no Captain Walker anymore, and
Because he basically tells them, like, yeah,
the plane
this is all
can't
bullshit.
fly. He's like, we'll never know the knowings and the doings. We'll never go to Tomorrow City. And like Tomorrow City is like a picture of a city lands, like a skyscraper.
Pre-apocalypse.
And he's like, it's like, what we're going to do is we're just going to stay fucking here because there's food and water and nobody leaves.
Yeah, it's like the nicest place in the whole world at that point, and they want to leave.
There's a faction of kids that are like, we still want to leave because there's got to be knowings and goings and doings out there somewhere to find. And he's like, don't go. He's like, they've been using a gun as like a little like staff, and they've been using bullets as little like what's the word I'm looking for?
Like chalk?
No, not chalk. The little like things that you put out your porch and they clang together and make
wind chimes.
Wind chimes. They've been using bullets as wind chimes. So he's like, oh fuck this. He like grabs a staff and pulls like all the junk they threw on top of it and gets a bullet out of the wind chime and just shoots a bullet into the wall next to him. Like, don't leave. But they still leave, so he just runs up and punches them. But they still leave anyways after he goes to sleep. And the other kids are like, you have to go find him, Captain Walker. You must, like, bring him back to us. It's not safe out there in the nothingness. And at first he's like, no, fuck them. And then, like, he just thinks about it for, like, 2 minutes. And he's like, give me all the water I can carry.
Yeah.
And then he rescues all but one of the kids. The one kid gets sucked into the quicksand, and they're all like, no! Because when he finds them, like, one kid's in the quicksand, and the rest of the kids had made a chain of kids out of the quicksand. And the one kid gets swallowed up right as he grabs onto the end of the chain and pulls all the kids up. And then he pulls up, and the bandana the kid was holding on to has no one holding on to it, and they're all crying and like, no. Now they've run completely out of water, and they're too far away from the oasis to get back to it. And he's like, our only chance is Bartertown. Meanwhile, now that, like, I forgot to mention, after Mad Max would not kill Blaster, they just shot like 4 crossbow bolts into him. So Blaster is dead, and Master is just this helpless little midget.
They make him work the refinery.
They make him as a slave, and they like force him to fix the refinery, or like they'll crush him beneath the pigs and stuff like that. So they sneak in through the sewage dumps and back into the underworld. And they free the master, and they steal a train. And the train leaves the town, and they destroy the refinery in the process. And only Master knows how to rebuild it, and they took him too. So Auntie's like, we can still rebuild Barter City. We just need to get the little one back. And it's very quintessential Mad Max. They all get into the cars, and they do the moving fight scene where people are jumping off the train. It's like very Road Warrior, super Fury Road. I feel like they figured out that like those were the best scenes from the first 2 movies. Like, wait, let's just make a whole movie like that, just on car fight scenes. But the train eventually goes over tracks that are going over water, so they can't drive next to it anymore. And the little sky bandits show up again and try and rob the train. But then the kid gets scared when he sees Auntie's army behind him, and he's like, oh, we're all fucked. And he's like, runs back to his dad. And he's like, Dad, awesome. We're fucked. And he's like, Dad, get in the plane. We're fucked. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, don't say I didn't warn you. And he just jumps into the plane and starts it up. And that's when Mad Max finds him. And he goes like, you. And he's like, you're going to get us out of here. And they try to fly in the plane. He's like, we're too heavy. We can't take off. And then the army's catching up. And the last scene is the army driving towards them. And he's like getting out of the plane. He's like, we don't have enough runway between us and them. And he's like, you'll have it. It'll be there. And he pulls up in some dump truck, drives in front of the truck, and rams through the army of cars. So there's just enough room for the plane to take off. So it's just him all alone with Auntie's army, and everyone else escapes. And Auntie walks up to him. There's like two guys with guns on him. And then he's like looking death in the eyes. And Auntie goes like, ha ha ha, what a pair we make. And then just walks away. Just fucking walks away. It's just such a stupid way to end the movie.
I don't know. She's
such a stupid way.
She was
to end the
like an
movie.
eccentric character. They made that pretty clear.
I know,
whole
but
thing.
it was just such. It's like, this is how Mad Max gets away. Pure fucking like whim.
He's a lucky dude.
Yeah. Oh, and the end is they find the kids fly to a city. And they find the city, and
they find their Tomorrowland, which is now a collapsed city, and it shows them all grown up. And the leader of the little kids is now like a full-grown woman with a baby of her own. And they're re-practicing the telling, which is, I guess I didn't go over it, but when they told the whole story of their past lives, that was called the telling. And because it's basically oral tradition, they're like, we have to do the telling every night so remembers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'd be no telling to tell.
Yeah.
And all the knowings and the doings that we've found so far would be lost again.
Right.
So they practice. They
what you hear tonight, tell a newborn baby tomorrow.
Yeah. He's like, we all must remember. For what you hear tonight, you will have to tell the newborns soon. So it's just the beginnings of an oral tradition of their history, basically.
And they light up the city. So.
Yeah. He's like, they're like, we light up the city in hopes that other, like, somewhere out there in the wasteland, like Captain Walker might see it and return to us again, or something like that. And it shows Max wandering in the desert. Well, I guess the way it made sense to me that Auntie left him there is like the typical villain. Like, I could kill you, but you're in the middle of a fucking desert and you have no food or water, so you're going to die anyways. I'll just let it be the more gruesome fate that you might actually be able to escape, whereas it's impossible for you to not get shot in the face right now.
Yeah.
You only survived being tied to the back of a horse and sit in the middle of a desert, and then a monkey with water came and saved you. So that could not possibly happen again.
Yep. I mean, you're the eccentric. Well, the little guy got away. There's no use in taking holding this grudge any longer. Sort of.
I like to think, like, no matter how evil you are, like, if you're living in that situation where everybody's dying around you and you see someone that's really good at surviving, I don't know, be kind of ashamed to.
I like to think maybe it's like sailor's code, where they like mutiny people instead of just killing them. They're like, I'm gonna like, if you survive this, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't terrible people. I mean, they had laws and a society. And they weren't
cannibals.
Right. They just were having a bit of a fight.
Yep.
I don't know.
It almost seemed like a tame movie after watching A Boy and His Dog, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely not as fucked up.
Yeah, that's Heath Ledger, man. For years, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like people were trying to get, like, Heath Ledger was pushing to do like a new Road Warrior with him as that character grown up.
Well, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. George Miller had talked about it, but obviously he died. So
apparently George Miller's friend was killed in a helicopter accident in the middle of this movie, and he just kind of checked out halfway through it.
Really?
His assistant director had to finish it up, and that's why there hasn't been.
Half is soft. Yeah.
That's why it took like years for another Mad Max to come out. He just didn't have the heart to do it.
Fury Road was really good.
All right. I mean, that's it, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I went over all the details I wanted to as I was going.
I'll have plenty of Tomb Raider talk next week for all the people interested.
no one's interested.
Everybody's interested.
I'm interested.
Yep.
But I'm not as interested as I am in Fallout.
Yeah, I'll definitely have more to talk about on Fallout and Battlefront. So look forward to that.
I'll show up an hour late next week to
Crawl out of the Fallout.
Before we leave, did Ron Perlman not do anything for Fallout 4? Because the opening monologue was your character.
Yeah,
so what the
that
fuck?
was a pretty controversial point I heard on the internet.
I assumed that he would be in it somewhere, but I've not found him yet.
Maybe he's like a main character towards the end.
He was probably busy making the new moon landing.
Maybe
movie
he
he's
says
doing.
war never changes at the end of the game.
Cool. All right. Boy.
Wait.
Good night.
Contact us at Nintendo Dreamcast Podcast at gmail.com. And look, check out our Facebook page, Nintendo Dreamcast at facebook.com. Assholes. All right. Bye.